Welcome everybody to tonight's Week 5 broadcast of the NARC Bragging Rights series. My name is Thomas Brandon. You are watching the eSports Racing Network, and with me in the booth tonight once again is my man Bryce Barris. Bryce, as the cars are getting ready to head out for qualifying, they're running the 360 sprints at Williams Grove. You've ran here quite a bit. What do you think is going to be the keys to victory tonight for these drivers?
Seems like every race I run here, the guy that can stick the bottom in 1 and 2 and either put it to the wall or stick the bottom without killing the tires on the entry on 3 seems to do pretty well.
Yeah, that is pretty true. 3 and 4 can usually open up to a couple of different lines. We'll see people run the top up on the wall, the bottom. Heck, we'll even see them go right through the middle when the track gets slick enough. And then in 1 and 2, it's really going to be kind of interesting to see what happens. A lot of times we'll see a slider line open up, the top, even the bottom. So we'll have to wait and see what plays out as Jake Sonatag is now on the track for his attempt at qualifying. Sonatag running a slider line there in 3 and 4. As he lays down a 17.29 on his first lap, 17.29. That is good for 8th overall right now. Looking to improve on his second lap time. And he's not going to. So first lap time with a 17.29 is going to hold for him, as right now we got Ernie Williams on the track. He's third quick so far with his first lap of a 17.15, coming to the checkered for his lap number 2. And he scores a 17.6 on his second lap. So first lap for him is going to be quick, as that looks like just about everybody for qualifying. Maybe we got one more out here. Oh, we got a couple more out here. There we go. Dan Morgan on the track for his qualifying run. Looks like his first lap was a 17.37. Lap number 2. Jumps up to 4th quick with a 17.19. So nice lap for Dan Morgan there, as that's going to be now 5th quick overall, as Kyle Sargent got a 17.18. So qualifying is done, and your fast time for the night is going to go to Justin Sherman with a 17.05. Pretty crazy that the quickest time to the slowest time was less than a second. 7/10 of a second is what separated the drivers. So heat race number 1 on the track, as we've got tonight. We will have 8-lap heat races with a 12-lap consolation and then a 40-lap A main event. So on the track right now is heat race number 1, and on the pole is going to be Jeremy Weigel, and outside of Weigel will be Eric Whitner. Then on the inside of row number 2, we've got Kyle Sargent, and outside of Sargent is Justin Sherman. Inside of row number 3 is going to be Dustin Sargent, and outside of Dustin Sargent will be Ted York. Then in the 7th position, we've got Joe Howe. Outside of Howe is Donald Toulos. And then in the 5th row, we've got Glenn McTavish, and outside of McTavish is Patrick Cobb. So 8 laps. For the heat race.
This invert seems to make these a little bit interesting.
Yes, it does. With our quick qualifier starting 4th on the grid.
He's got a little bit of work cut out of him.
Yes, he does, because the 2 drivers in front of him are definitely fast. Eric Whitner in the 17 is a pro, and Jeremy Weigel won at Volusia earlier in the season in the 410 sprint car. So 2 very good drivers up in front of Sherman and Sargent.
And this is Weigel's favorite track too.
Yes, it is. Well, all those, PA posse guys, and of course, Williams Grove, they've got a shrine to it at their house.
Gotta love the Grove. This
Mm-hmm.
is one of my least favorite tracks.
I like it in the wing cars. Everything else, and maybe the big blocks. Everything else, I'm good. All right, pace car is off, and we are underway as Weigel gets a good jump with Whitner ducking in right behind him, followed by Sargent and Sherman. Sherman powers around Sargent on the outside there and got a great run down the backstretch as he's looking to now catch Whitner and Weigel in that 1-2 position. Weigel leading everybody up on that high side right now as he heads low there in 3 and 4. Whitner stays up top with Sherman right through the middle.
It's definitely around the top in 1 and 2.
Yes, it is. It seems to be the fast line, and Whitner just cannot seem to get around Weigel as he's looking up high in 1 and 2. Weigel down goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. Whitner stays up high. Weigel with a little bit of a bottle there might cost him as Whitner able to power around him and take the lead, as we've got just a couple of laps to go here in heat race number 1. Weigel now feeling the pressure from Justin Sherman as now Sherman goes to the high side, and he's going to take the number 2 position from his teammate here as we've just got a couple laps remaining here in heat race number 1, and this is going to allow Whitner to widen the gap even more so as he's got a 1 set. Oh, and he's in the wall, which slows up Sherman, and Sherman has to dodge him, and that's going to let Weigel take the lead back as we've got just 2 laps remaining here in this heat race. That wall in 3 and 4 can reach out and grab you, and it did with Whitner there as he was stuck on that guardrail, and that opened the door for Weigel to pop through and take the lead. Sherman looking to the outside of Weigel as Weigel goes through the middle there. Both of them very, very close, and it looks like it's going to be Jeremy Weigel by 0.02 of a second over Justin Sherman to win heat race number 1, followed by Kyle Sargent in the 3rd position and Dustin Sargent rounding out your final transfer position. So tough break for Eric Whitner as he was pulling away there, just barely caught the wall, sucked him in, and unfortunately, he's going to have to go to the consolation tonight.
Yeah, that wall sucks you in and just holds on to you, and it's really hard to get back off of it.
Yes, it is. It's almost impossible.
And then, of course, you're trying to save your position and not keep dropping, and you get on the gas a little bit too much, it just sucks you right back into it.
Yep. Yeah, they, got it set up to where wall riding was no longer a thing, and now when you touch it, you're just stuck like glue. All right. Heat race number 2 is lining up, and it looks like we will not have a grid to show you. I would like to once again personally thank SDK Overlays for another stellar performance tonight. So, on the pole, it looks like we've got Ryan Shite. I know I'm saying that wrong. We're going to call him Shite tonight. Let's call it Shite. Outside of Shite is Trevor Royer. Then in row number 2, we have Alex Szerzynski. And outside of Szerzynski is Dan Morgan. Then in row number 3 is going to be Bruce Klingen and Jake Sonntag, with Chris Marcantonio and Jared Culberson in row number 4. Then in row number 5, we're going to have Ryan Wagenschutz and Greg Keppel.
think that third row with Jake and Bruce in it is going to be a one to watch in this one.
Yes, it is. Definitely going to be interesting as you've got, once again, two very fast drivers up front with the invert with Szerzynski and Morgan in third and fourth. So, very, very stout field here as you've got half a dozen 4K drivers in this race. So, going to be interesting to see who can come out on top. All right, pace car is off, and we are underway as Shet. Oh my God, I'm going to say that wrong all night long. Jumps out to a early lead over Trevor Royer, Szerzynski, Sonatag, and Morgan as we've got a battle going on for that fourth and final transfer position as they are 3 wide coming out of turn 4 there down the front stretch.
And you could throw a blanket over them all there.
Yes, you can. As Szerzynski looked to the inside of Royer, but Royer able to hold on to him out on the outside there. Oh, we got a couple of guys getting together there. That looks like Culbertson. Oh, Morgan gets caught up there, and that's going to end his heat races. He got hit there coming out of the corner. Looks like he jumped the wheel and then shot straight up to the fence as Szerzynski throws a slider on Royer, and Royer able to cut down underneath and take the position back as these two are now battling for that second position, which is allowing Scheidt to pull away. Szerzynski once again with the slide job, and Royer able to duck back underneath it and hold on to that position. Szerzynski definitely got a run going into 1 and 2 there, but just not able to hold on to it as Royer able to cut down out of the corner. This time Szerzynski stays on the bottom and is able to make the pass.
While they're battling the fourth and fifth, they're battling for the transfer spot with Sonatag and Culbertson.
Yes, they are, and with just 2 laps left, Sonatag looking to get around Culbertson. Culbertson with a really nice line through 1 and 2 there. He seems to be running just kind of right through the middle as Sonatag runs that slider line there in 3 and 4. Closes the gap a little bit, but is not able to get around him. This time he heads down to the bottom. Culbertson gets a good run off the corner. Back up front, we got a drag race to the line there, and it's gonna be Alex Szerzynski getting the win over Scheidt at the very end there with a margin of 1/100th of a second. So nice job by him to pull off the late move there and bring home the victory in heat race number 2.
And we got some really close racing up front.
Yes, we do, as the track is showing itself to be very racy right now in these early stages.
Yeah, the track's starting to develop more than one line, so it turns into more than just a Daytona 500. Everybody follow each other.
All right, heat race number 3 for the Bragging Rights Series, brought to you by Garmin Properties, is on the track. As we got Derek Gray on the pole. Outside of Gray is Jason Nygaard. Then in row number 2, we have David Smeal Jr. with Ernie Williams Jr. Then in row number 3, we have Matthew Mateer with Brandon Garmin. Row number 4 is going to bring Christian McCartney and Kurt Ney. And in row number 5, we have Nathaniel Spoomer and Ken Borey. So once again, 8 laps, top 4 to the feature.
Ernie has been having to work his way up through fields, and he's been moving up through fields pretty quickly.
Yes, he has been. A veteran of NARC, he usually shows out pretty well in these wing sprint car races. All right, pace car is off, and we are underway. As Gray gets a good jump over Nygaard there, which allows Smil Jr. to look to the inside of Nygaard as he's trying to take away that second position early on here in the race. Oh, Smil gets a little tap from Williams there as we've got a 5-car battle for that number 2 position with Nygaard, Williams, Smil, Garmin, and Mateer. 3 wide out of turn 2 as Garmin splits the middle and threads the needle, and he is now moved all the way up to that number 3 position. So nice move by Brandon Garmin there. Able to jump up and get into that final transfer spot as Ernie Williams Jr. now powers around the top side there and pulls up into that 3rd place position. Oh no, and Brandon Garmin jumps a wheel there out of turn 2, and that's going to cost him dearly. Tough break for Garmin as that's going to end his hopes to transfer out of the heat race tonight. Back up front, Derek Gray starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Jason Nygaard as he's up on that wall, looking to get around that and take the lead, but it's not happening right now as Gray pulls away coming down that front stretch.
Pretty cool going into turn 1 and 2 there. There was 3 of them that took 3 different lines, and they all came out pretty even.
Yeah, the track is definitely a racer right now. We've got multiple grooves, and each one of these guys is running a different one as Gray slides up and kind of cuts down. Oh, and Williams is there as he looked to the inside, and that's going to cost him tough break for Gray and Williams as those two got together, which opens the door for Nygaard to take the lead as now Jason Nygaard out in front gets the win in heat race number 3 with Matthew Mateer, David Smil Jr., and Kurt Ney grabbing that 4th and final transfer spot. Gray was running kind of a diamond line there and cut down as Williams looked to the inside, and both of them just got together in the tough racing deal, and that's going to send them both to the consolation.
Yeah, it looked like they were just trying to race for the same real estate.
Yes, it did. Well, speaking of our consolation, it is now gridding up on the track. If I'm looking at this correctly, and I would like to think I am, we've got 18 cars in tonight's consolation, and I do believe all of them will be going to the feature. We had 4 out of each heat race, 3 heat races. That's 12 plus 18. No,
That says
sorry.
it's taken 12. It's only taken 12.
Taken 12, yeah. Okay. So.
This is a pretty stacked consi.
This is a very stacked consi, yeah. So top 12 will be going to the feature. That means 6 drivers will be going home.
You got some really fast guys coming from pretty far back, too.
Yes, you do. On the pole, we've got Joe Howe. Outside of Howe is Jake Sonatag. Then in row number 2 is Ernie Williams Jr. And outside of Williams Jr., we've got Ted York. Then in row number 3 is Greg Keppel. Outside of Keppel is Derek Gray. Row number 4 is going to be Glenn McTavish with Chris Mark Antonio. In row number 5, we've got Ken Borey with Patrick Cobb. Then in row number 6, it's going to be Christian McCartney and Ryan Wagenschutz. Row number 7 is Eric Whitner and Dan Morgan. Row number 8 is going to be Brandon Garman with Donald Tulios. And then in row number 9, we've got Bruce Klingen and Nathaniel Spomer. So good drivers up front, good drivers in the back. We'll have to see who can make their way up into the top 12 to get that transfer to tonight's 40-lap A main event.
I didn't see what happened to Bruce, but he must have kept his head in Daytona and it's not quite back yet.
Well, in his heat race, there was a little pile up in front of him that collected him, unfortunately. So he dropped out. Yeah, tough break for him. All right, 18 drivers, top 12 go to the feature in this 12-lap consolation. Pay no never mind to our incorrect lap counter in the top left of your screen. Thank you, SDK, and we are underway. Howe jumps out to the lead with Sonatag and Williams Jr. in tow as you've got Ted York and Greg Keppel rounding out your top 5. Eric Whitner's already moved up a few spots there, and he now finds himself inside that top 12, looking to transfer to tonight's feature. With Dan Morgan right now holding on to that final transfer spot. Oh, and there's some contact, and that's going to collect a number of drivers there in turns 3 and 4. As we've also got a driver on the front stretch who got collected up there. So tough break, as that's going to really spread out the field. And it looks like Patrick Cobb, who is in that final transfer spot, is pulling off the track. So chaos ensues all over the track. As back up front, it is Joe Howe still leading this consolation.
That was a pretty crazy turn of events there.
Yes, it was, to say the least. Howe pulling away from Sonatag and Williams as he's got that line working for him right now as he taps the wall but is able to keep going. As he's got a half a second lead over second place Jake Sonatag and Ernie Williams Jr. In our 12th and final transfer spot, Ken Borey has got Eric Whitner breathing down his neck. Whitner spun on the front stretch, was able to get it turned around and back on the gas, and has now caught him, and he's looking to get around him for that 12th and final transfer position to our 40-lap main event, and he does. Drives right around him on the top and is now looking to move up even more. Whitner, who's had some tough breaks tonight, even though he has shown some incredible speed. Looking to get into the A main to see what he can do in that 40-lap main event. Oh, as we've got contact up front. Howe, Sonatag. And that's going to open the door for Ted York as he's able to take the lead. Not sure exactly what happened there as we caught the tail end of it. It looked like somebody got sideways. Not sure if Hal had some help with that or if he just got loose, but
like Ernie got into the wall.
Second.
Ernie was up and sideways into the wall, looked like there for a minute.
And it looks like that might have ended Ernie's night tonight because he appears to be off the track now.
Yep, he's 4 laps down.
checkered flag is going to fall for Ted York as he is going to win tonight's B main event, followed by Joe Howe, Glenn McTavish, Greg Keppel, Derek Gray, Brandon Garman, Ryan Wagenschitz, Eric Whitner able to work his way back up to 8th place, Chris Marcantonio, Donald Tulios, Jake Sonatag, and Ken Borey will get that 12th and final transfer position.
What a crazy consi.
Yes, it was.
That's just
Whew.
that's just the Grove. It comes alive and eats you.
All right, so we've got a quick little break here before we are going to head into our 40-lap main event. We're going to take a short intermission and we will be right back with the main. All right, we are back as our 24 drivers are gridding up for tonight's 40-lap A main event.
I think this is going to be a pretty exciting feature. This track's shaping up to be pretty technical and rough to get around towards the end of it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Should be a good one. So, on the pole is going to be Jeremy Weigel with Alex Szerzynski outside. Then we've got Jason Nygaard and Justin Sherman, followed by Ryan Scheidt and Matthew Mateer. Then we're going to have Trevor Royer with Kyle Sargent, followed by Dustin Sargent and David Smeal Jr. Then in row number 6, it's Kurt Ney and Jared Culberson, followed by Joe Howe and Ted York. Row number 8 is going to be Greg Keppel and Glenn McTavish, followed by Brandon Garman and Derek Gray. Row number 10, we've got Eric Whitner and Ryan Wagenschitz. And in row number 11, it's going to be Donald Tulios with Chris Marcantonio. Then in row number 12, we're going to have Jake Sonatag with Ken Borey. So, 40 laps to determine tonight's winner in week number 5 of the NARC Bragging Rights Series, brought to you by Garmin Properties. All right, Bryce, before we go, I was just going to say, before we go green, who do you got tonight?
I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to go with Sherman.
Ah, that was my pick.
I was torn between him and Jake, but Jake's got a lot of work to do.
Yes, he does. All right, I'm going to go with Weigel. Weigel starting up front. He does good at the Grove. He spends all of his weekends here, so he should know the track.
He's got the track down.
There you go. Pace car is off, and we are underway as Weigel jumps out to an early lead. But like we said, we got a long ways to go, as we've already got a pack of cars battling for that number 2 position with Szerzynski, Nygaard, Scheidt, and Mateer. Nygaard takes it low, almost bounced off the tires. He slides up the track there, right up by Justin Sherman in the 00. Sherman goes to the top side, Nygaard down low. As you can already see, we've got multiple grooves forming through turns 3 and 4.
And they're going 4 and 5 wide into both corners there on that last lap.
Yes, they are. Oh, and Mateer in the 64 just ran over the back tire there, and that's, oh, and then they get together, and now we've got an accident.
That was my guy.
Yes, it was. Tough break there. Let's see if we can take a look at that on the replay here. Mateer jumped the tire. They're 4 wide, and then he just slides up into the 00 and collects them, and that's a tough break right there for those guys. As Justin Sherman got the short end of the stick there, flipped a handful of times, ended up landing on his wheels, but unfortunately the rest of his car is broken. So
let's not tell him I picked him to win that one.
Yeah. All right, so we've got just 3 laps in the books with your leader, Jeremy Weigel, followed by Alex Szerzynski, Ryan Scheidt, Jason Nygaard, David Smeal Jr., Kyle Sargent, Trevor Royer, Jared Culberson, and Joe Howe rounding out your top 10.
Looks like Sonant must have been involved in that. I guess I'm back now. Looks like that wreck collected quite a few people there. Got Garmin in the pits, got Sonentag in the pits.
Mateer, Sherman, yep, had a few guys who got collected in that. Tough break for those guys, but when you're running 4 and 5 wide here at Williams Grove, all it takes is one little mistake, and then it's going to be usually a disaster.
It's really easy to make a mistake coming off of 4, that little hump there, and then the
slick.
Yeah. And
this is without a doubt one of the tougher tracks there is on the sim. All right, pace car is off, and we are ready to go green as Jeremy Weigel leads him down the front stretch to the green flag, and he's got his lead once again over Szerzynski. As Szerzynski looks to the inside, he got a heck of a run off of turn 2. Weigel up on that high side, but Szerzynski rolled that bottom and got a hell of a run as he came off of turn 2 there. And now they're riding side by side You got Scheidt, Weigel, and Szerzynski all battling for the lead.
And Szerzynski is getting a heck of a run off the bottom.
And now he's up on the wall as we've got a caution on the track. Let's see what happened here. Oh, and it looks like Eric Wiltner in the 49 car, 19 car, I can't see who that is exactly, got together there, and Whitner just got spun, and that's what brought out the caution. So, tough break for Whitner as he has had some bad luck tonight.
Yeah, he hasn't had much good luck, that's for sure.
No, he hasn't.
He's been in the wrong place at the wrong time a couple times.
Oh, hey, our overlay's working now. All right, better late than never. Way to go.
That's nice. At least it showed up before the end of the race.
Yeah, it is.
And it didn't make us miss a heat race by seeing the grid.
Yeah, that's true.
Pace laps seem like they take a really long time here.
Well, that's because they do. Here, Bristol and USA are an eternity when it comes to pace laps.
You know, it just seems like they're so long here. It's the same size as Eldora, but for whatever reason, they just feel so long here.
Yeah. All right, pace car is off, and we are back under green as Alex Szerzynski gets a good jump on the rest of the field as Jeremy Weigel heads down to the bottom with Scheidt, Nygaard, and Smeal all running that bottom line. Nygaard with a great run off the corner, they're able to move up into that 4th place position as he now looks to the high side in 3 and 4 as Weigel and Scheidt are down on the bottom. Weigel running through almost the middle there in 1 and 2, and it seems to be working for him as he heads right through the slick in 3 and 4. And this time, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on. As Scheidt looks like he's got the run, and he's going to get the pass heading into turns 1 and 2.
Weigel seems to be able to get that middle to work just about every track. The Weigel line comes in about everywhere.
Yes, it does, as we've got another caution on the speedway. And not sure what the caution was, but it wasn't that, so...
I'm not seeing what the caution was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. That's okay. All right, so your leader right now, we've got Alex Szerzynski with Ryan Scheidt, Jeremy Weigel, Jason Nygaard, and David Smeal Jr., followed by Trevor Royal, Kyle Sargent, Jared Culbertson, Joe Howe, Ted York, Greg Keppel, Kurt Ney, Glenn McTavish, Donald Tulios, Chris Marcantonio, Ken Borey, and Derek Gray, rounding out your drivers who are actually still on the track. And we are underway at the teammates up front, Szerzynski and Scheidt battling for the lead. Szerzynski with a good jump there. Scheidt looking to the bottom side, trying to get around Szerzynski. Szerzynski tags the wall there, but is able to hold on, maintain that momentum as he powers around on the high side as the track's starting to get really slick. Scheidt down, rolling that bottom, and he's got that working. As Szerzynski's just letting it all hang out there on the high side, bouncing his tail tank off the guardrail, and it doesn't seem to be affecting him any.
He's making that top look easy, but it is not easy to win.
No, it's not. And apparently he's got his Harry Potter wand working too, because I've never seen somebody bounce off the wall at the Grove that many times and it not get stuck. So kudos to Szerzynski as he's got the high side working, and we've got a caution on the speedway once again. Looks like we had a couple of cars get tangled up back there. Let's see if we can take another look at this. Oh yeah, looks like we had one just get loose in front of a couple of people, and that's going to collect Derek Gray, and that's what caused the caution there. So tough break for Gray. All right, so it's Szerzynski with Scheidt, Weigel, Smeal Jr., and Nygaard with Royer, Howe, Culbertson, Sargent, York, Keppel, and Ney. Then we've got Donald Tulios, Chris Marcantonio, with Ken Borey and Derek Gray. All right, so
Trevor Royer is just hanging out up there towards the front, just sitting in a pretty good spot so far. He's got a pretty good way of putting himself in a podium, so we'll have to see if
yes,
he
he does,
do
and we
anything.
still got a long ways to go. With we're only on lap 14 when we go to green, so still plenty of time for these guys to move their way up through the field.
We're gonna have to have an open red to get some more fuel in these things.
I imagine most of them should have been topped off for 40 laps here at Williams Grove.
I don't know how many laps you can get on a full fuel tank.
Well, I know you can't get 50. The main event was going to be 50, but you can't get 50 laps on a full tank, so. We had to go to 40. All right, pace car is off, and once again, we are under green. Rzazinski on that high side, making it work, and making it work well as he pulls away from his teammates and opens up a half a second lead here before we even complete a lap after the restart. Weigel now battling with Scheidt there for that number 2 position. Had to slow up a little bit there. And that's got everybody bunched up as they're 3 wide heading into turns 3 and 4 as you got Royer, Smeal, and Nygaard all battling there behind Weigel in that number 3 position. Nygaard heads to the high side looking to go around the 20 car of Jeremy Weigel. Nothing doing for him there as Weigel works that middle line. Nygaard up on the wall, both literally and figuratively, looking to make a move.
Rzazinski is just checked out up there.
Yes, he has, as he has opened up a 2.5 second lead over Ryan Scheidt in second place. And Scheidt has a 1 second gap over Weigel in third. And we've got another caution on the speedway. Oh, and it looks like Ted York and Greg Keppel there, a little bit of contact, and that's going to collect both of them. Unfortunately, send them to the back of the pack.
This track is going to be pretty well dead slick by the time this race is over. We still got 21 more laps to go.
Yeah, we're not quite to halfway yet, and it's already looking like an ice skating rink out there.
Gonna have to come up with some creative lines to get around it.
Well, you're going to have to come up with some creative lines just to catch Alex Rzazinski, because he has definitely shown himself to be the fast car on the track tonight.
He is just putting it right up on the wall and letting it eat, and it's definitely working.
Yes, it is. All right, lights are off on the pace car. We should be getting ready to go back to green. And we are back underway as Rzazinski once again gets an amazing jump on the rest of the field and heads right back up to that high line that he's been running all night long. And pulls away from second place.
The top side is definitely the fast way around, but
You got to hit it perfect, and right now he is.
just takes one little slip and your night's done.
Battle shaping up for second place now as Jeremy Weigel in the 20 car has caught Ryan Scheidt in that number 10. Weigel been working that middle line, and it looks like it's starting to come in. Behind these guys, we got a battle for fourth place going on with David Smeal Jr. and Jason Nygaard. Nygaard up on the wall, Smeal down on the inside guardrail. We've got 16 laps to go as Nygaard takes the fourth position away. But can he hold on to it? Maintain grip on that high line, you have to be so far up there. The distance is so great around this track. We've got a huge battle shaping up here for the top 10 as we've got Howe, Tulos, Royer, and Garmin all battling for the top 10 as these guys are running 2, 3, and 4 wide into these corners. Howe goes down low as Tulios goes to the middle with Royer up top. Royer looking to put some pressure on Howe for that 9th position. As Garmin's looking to track down Tulios as we've got another caution on the speedway. Oh, and it looks like Eric Whitner just caught the wall there and spun around. Able to keep it going, but not before he brought out the caution.
That's easy to do. That wall reaches out and grabs a hold of you.
Yes, it does.
I've tried to knock that wall down or move it out a little bit farther, and it won't move.
No, it won't. All right, as we've got just 11 laps remaining, your leader is still Alex Rzazinski, followed by Ryan Scheidt, Jeremy Weigel, David Smeal Jr., and Jason Nygaard rounding out the top 5, with Jared Culbertson, Kurt Ney, Kyle Sargent, Joe Howe, Trevor Royer rounding out the top 10.
I'm scared to say about anything about anybody else. Every time I say something about somebody, they go backwards.
Well, up front, it has been all Alex Rzazinski tonight. Once he got the lead early in this race, he has not looked back. We'll have to see if he can hold on his last 11 laps here and bring it home for the win.
Gotta think these cautions get him out of his rhythm a little bit, but man, he just jumps right back up there and gets going again like it's his job.
Yeah, it hasn't affected him too much, it doesn't look like. Not sure it's going to start affecting him now, as he seems to be pretty much the car to beat as we are back underway. He gets a little loose on the start there, but still able to pull away from Scheidt and Weigel there.
momentum he's able to carry around the top. He's just powering out of the corners.
Yes, it is very hard to beat right now as he is slowly pulling away from Scheidt. Scheidt's got a good line through the middle, but oh, Szerzynski slows up a little bit there. That actually allows Scheidt to close the gap some. As we've got just 8 laps to go, yeah. We'll have to see if Scheidt can pull up there and make it interesting. Hopefully Scheidt makes it on the podium tonight, just so I can ask him the proper way to say his name, because I'm sure I'm saying it wrong.
It looks like that top side's slowing down just a little bit.
Yeah, it does seem to be slowing down some.
It's still the fastest way around, but they're staying with him this run.
You can see he's just bouncing that right rear off the guardrail. And it's working for him. As we've got 5 laps to go and he's now opened up a 1 second gap over second place. Brandon Garmin moves up into the top 10. He's moved up 9 positions on the night, it looks like, as we've got a caution on the speedway. And that looks like it's going to be the 74 car of Kurt Ney. Ney was having a good run as he had moved up quite a few spots himself. Oh, and he just had too much momentum going into that corner, got into the back of the 22 of Nygaard there, and looks like he got turned around. So tough break for Ney. As like I said, he had moved up into the top 7 tonight. So
Ney, for a fender guy, does pretty well in the winged sprint car.
yes, he does. Could have used some fenders in that situation there.
I even saw him take the top off and run a non-wing the other night.
Oh, feeling frisky, was he?
I guess he finally decided to take all the fenders off. I think he just wanted to feel what a real car was like to drive.
That could be. You've drove the rest, now come drive the best.
You know, he did pretty good too.
Well, when you run them big blocks, you know, throttle control's a big deal, and them non-wings, I mean, that's basically how you drive the car. You drive it with the throttle. You guide it with the wheel. You drive it with the throttle.
Yeah, you could almost pop the wheel off and just put it in your pocket.
Pretty much. All right, pace car's off, and we are back underway. As Szerzynski's going to have 3 laps to go to close out tonight's victory. And it looks like he is going to do it as he pulls away, opens up a half a second lead over Scheidt and Weigel. Two to go for Szerzynski. As he has been challenged very little tonight in this 40-lap main event. Once he got the lead, he basically opened it up and took off. As we are at 1 lap to go for Alex Szerzynski in tonight's Bragging Rights A main event here at Williams Grove. Szerzynski into turn 3, out of turn 4. And he is gonna do it. Your winner in tonight's NARC Bragging Rights 360 Sprint Car Race here at Williams Grove, presented by Garmin Properties, is Alex Szerzynski, followed by Ryan Scheidt and Jeremy Weigel rounding out your podium, with David Smil Jr., Jared Culbertson rounding out the top 5, with Trevor Royer, Brandon Garmin, Jason Nygaard, Donald Tulios, and Ken Borey rounding out the top 10. So heck of a run for Alex Rzinski tonight, as he was definitely the class of the field. Nobody had anything for him. Good battle between Scheit and Weigel for that number 2 position, as Scheit was able to come away with it. Weigel just could not find a way around him. Didn't really seem to be faster than they seemed to be about the same pace. But still, heck of a run for all of the drivers on our podium tonight.
Yeah, Weigel needs to get that middle working, man, and he's tough to beat when the middle's working for him.
Yes, he is. He had it. He had it going. So good finish for all 3 of the drivers on our podium, as we're gonna get our official race results here. Or let me clarify, we're going to try to get our official race results here. Alright, there we go. So we had Alex Rzinski, your winner, followed by Ryan Scheit, Jeremy Weigel, David Smeal Jr., Jared Culbertson, Trevor Royer, Brandon Garman, Jason Nygaard, Donald Tuyos, and Ken Borey rounding out your top 10, with Ryan Wagenschutz, Dustin Sargent, Glenn McTavish, Ted York, Derek Gray, Kurt Ney, Joe Howe, Kyle Sargent, Greg Keppel, and Chris Mark Antonio rounding out the top 20, with Eric Whitner, Justin Sherman, Matthew Mateer, and Jake Sonntag. All right, so we've got our A main event winner with us, Alex Rzinski. Alec, you there?
Yeah, you got a copy?
I got you, my man. Heck of a run tonight. You were just like a magician on that top side. What were you doing to be so fast up there tonight, and was that your plan to just run the high side going into the feature?
Yeah, I just wanted to run the feature just to, just sell t-shirts, run the top, just have fun with it. But, I had to channel my inner Braden Eiler and, run the top around Williams Grove. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think all those cautions there kind of hurt me in the end. I felt like my car was going away. I was getting too tight, but it's probably just a driver error. I could have moved the wing forward, so it was not bad. It was a fun run.
Well, it was definitely a good run. You were the class of the field tonight. There wasn't anybody out there that had anything for you. So awesome run tonight. Congrats on the win. Before I let you go, do you got any family, friends, sponsors that you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank all the teammates at Black Diamond Motorsports. I think we had 4 guys in here tonight, and that was pretty cool to see. I know Ryan got second. I got to thank Brett Wheeler with Ultimate Dirt TV, Ross Grinta Velocity Race Design, Tim Nichols, Tim Dirt Track Simulators. He's always a big help to us. And Zach Rounds, Ron's Reps and Tint, Nate Davis at Totally Tinted. And whoever puts on, everyone that puts on, NARC and all the leagues that you guys do, it's pretty cool to see the community you guys have.
All right, man. Well, awesome run tonight. Congrats on the win, and yeah, we hopefully we'll talk to you again here soon.
Yes, sir. That's the plan. Thank you.
All right. All right, that was your winner, Alex Rzinski. So now with us, we've got our second place finisher. And before I ask any other questions, Ryan, I got to ask you, because I'm pretty sure I've said it wrong the entire night. Please tell me, how do I pronounce your last name?
Scheit.
Scheit? Okay, so never mind. I've been saying it right the whole night. All right, well, Ryan Scheit, your second place finisher. Ryan, you had an awesome run tonight, coming home in second place. Your teammate, Alex Rzinski, was definitely on another level on that high side. But you were running a little bit of a different line there. What was your game plan going into the race tonight, and what were you trying to do there towards the end to track down Alex for the lead?
Yeah, my game plan was really to stay off the top because I'm just not young enough to have the good reflexes to run that line. So my whole plan was run the bottom until it went away and then search around for any grip left in the middle late.
Well, it seemed to work for you. You definitely had that middle line working, and you were able to hold on to second place and come home with a solid finish in tonight's race. So awesome run tonight. Before I let you go, do you got any friends, family, or sponsors you want to thank?
Absolutely. All the guys at Black Diamond, Tim Nichols with Tim Sims, Ross at Velocity Race Designs, Nate Davis at Totally Tinted, Rounds, Wraps, and Tint, and Brett at UDTV.
All right. Well, awesome run once again tonight, my man, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. All right, that was Ryan Scheidt, your second place finisher, as we are now joined by tonight's third place finisher, Jeremy Weigel. Jeremy, you got off to a pretty good start. You had the lead there. You fell back a couple spots, but you were battling there with Scheidt for second place. What was your plan tonight in the race, and what were you doing to try to get around Scheidt for that second place position?
Well, with the extra laps here, 40 laps tonight, obviously had to load up with a little more fuel, and I my plan going into this the whole time was middle bottom. That's where I built my best setup for this track. I knew it would get slick 40 laps, you know. So at the start of the race, I just had to hold on for the first like 15 laps and then hope, you know, wherever I fell at that point that I could make up some time. But Alec and Ryan, man, they were fast. They were the class of the field tonight in that feature. So hats off to them.
Well, you've had another good showing in the NARC Bragging Rights series with a third place finish tonight. Before I let you go, do you got any family, friends, sponsors you want to thank?
Of course, I want to thank you guys for putting on this broadcast. I got to thank School of Sim Racing, Personal Evolution Company, and you know ESRN. Um, Thomas Brandon Gaming, got to throw that one in there. Um, but yeah, that's about it. My teammates, we ran practice before, and without them, I wouldn't have had a chance at a podium tonight. So
Well, you were able to score a podium, man. So congrats to you for that awesome run tonight. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to talk to you again here soon.
appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, have a good one. All right, so that was Jeremy Weigel, your third place finisher in tonight's race. So once again, your winner, Alex Rzazinski, followed by Ryan Scheidt, Jeremy Weigel, David Smil Jr., Jared Culbertson, Trevor Royer, Brandon Garman, Jason Nygaard, Donald Tuyos, and Ken Borey rounding out your top 10. So that's going to do it for week number 5 in the NARC Bragging Rights Series presented by Garmin Properties. My name is Thomas Brandon, joined by Bryce Barris with me here in the booth. Bryce, thank you very much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, and we will be back again next week to do it all over for week number 6 of the Bragging Rights series, as the Dirt Midgets will be heading to the Chili Bowl. That is the polar opposite of tonight's event. So we'll be looking forward to that race next week, and we will see you guys there. So until then, as always, good luck, good racing, take care.